of the Healing from the Heart Center, a sacred sanctuary for Black women. Also from Higher Elevation Channel. Good morning, happy Saturday. Hope you're perfect, whole, and complete. We put the lipstick back on. We was going for a little while without it, and it was good. It was nice to have a little break, but it makes you appreciate it more when you do have it on. So we're a little more alive. So today is laundry day. I have the woman is out there doing the laundry. Um, I'm supposed to go to the market, waiting on Eric. He has disappeared. Eric is disappearing. So I know just like the laundry is working out perfectly. I had asked him to call it days ago, and he did. I guess she could only come today. So I'm going to consider that a win. And the market will work out perfectly as well. I've been having consultations all week, and they've been so lovely. Every last one of them has given me some part of myself back, or some has brought out the best parts of me, or has just like spoke to me in some way. So that's the real thing I think about consultations. Even though you are being in touch with somebody, in my case like a coach, to receive some insight. But remember that true coaching is also that you're receiving a lot of insight as well. So it's not just for the other person, it's for you as well as the teacher, the healer, the coach, uh, however, that you, whatever position you consider yourself to be in, you get something too. And so last night I had a wonderful conversation with a fellow Leo, so another Leo woman. And it was such a very freeing conversation. I don't often see myself when I'm looking at myself because I'm so busy living within myself, so I don't see myself in ways that others can see you. I think I spoke on this before. And I really love that in some ways because people say things and you don't even realize it. And if somebody was to say like, hey, describe yourself in a few words and like kind of your demeanor, I would think that I'm very calm. I almost would think that I'm very uneventful, right? Let me use that one word. I would describe myself. I know it's crazy, but I see myself as like uneventful. So, but it's interesting that when someone else looks at me, they might see me as very eventful, like I'm the opposite of uneventful. I see myself as basically living the same life all day, every day, and others may see me as being very eventful, and I love that. Like I love that. And but this is last night, and then other people during my years on YouTube have said, like, she loved the moving. I'm always moving, and how cool that is. And she just loves that. Like, hey, I tried that. It worked for a while. It's not working now, so I'm moving again. And I just love that perspective. And I remember years ago, I don't know, maybe it was just even last year, one of the YouTubers, my viewers said, oh, you're always moving, like you move a lot. And I was like, do I? Like, so not noticing that I physically move a lot. Only if I think about it now, it probably looks like I moved a lot. I'm see, and I still say it looks like. You never hear me say I move a lot, because I think what happens is it becomes part of who I am, and it doesn't seem very odd or unique or different, but it is. And that's the part, like I'm saying, I love. It shows me that that wild woman still exists. That even though I'm thinking I'm doing the same thing in the same way, at the same time in the same day, that in actuality I'm unusual. Let's even say abnormal. I like abnormal. Abnormal is great. It means you're not normal. You're not of the normal, right? You're against normal, right? I love that part of me. I love that, to hear the way when people look at me, it's almost like a free person, like freedom. And I remember years ago, my baby was 2 or 3 years old, and I was in a community, a wonderful community in Oakland, and one of the sisters of the community said, I'm gonna nickname you Freedom. Your nickname should be Freedom. And I was like, wow, like I love that, but I didn't know that I was being free. And I remember we was in this community, and it was just an imbalance in the masculine and the feminine energy in the community. We had got stuck into what a woman's place is and a man's place is. And it really wasn't, that dynamic wasn't, the women were not winning because the men decided on what the places should be based on some old pieces of history and stuff that they put together that they never really lived, or their own mothers and fathers wasn't in that a woman as being in a subservient role. But we were trying to be what we thought was African, and in some ways it is, but it's not, And I guess I was one of the first people in the community to break out and was like, you know what, I'm going to wear the dress I want to wear. I'm not going to cover my head. I'm not going to do this little thing we do when we separate the men in one room and the women in another. I'm not doing none of it. And from there, just, whoo, it was just like a snowball effect that everybody was getting up and finding themselves and moving along. It was really beautiful, to be honest. And I didn't know, and so, like I said, after that, I was doing everything. I was doing Sacred Woman, Queen of Fool. I had met the old man, which was very freeing too. He was 28 years older than me. It was an out and out relationship. Many people first probably laughed, be like, oh my God, she was that old man. What is she doing? Then they all wished that they had him later. You know what I'm saying? But that was to her like, wow, that's very free. Leaving the community was big. I mean, the community was kind of intact in some ways. It was unraveling behind the scenes, to be honest. But that was a big thing because, nobody was really brave enough to kind of at that point do it. And then to leave my relationship, separate from my daughter's father, both of us agreed. I was scared, but I did that anyway, and then meeting this other man and having this relationship and growing tremendously from that relationship. And that was very freeing, And eventually moving from a place that I couldn't move from for 16 years, I was so like, this is the best I'm going to have. And moving to another place and then getting up and then moving to North Carolina and then getting up. And then, it started even before then, coming from Brooklyn and moving to Vegas. And I never lived outside the state of where I lived, and then going to Vegas, and then from Vegas going to Cali and stay, it was always, then leaving California and going to North Carolina and then leaving North Carolina and coming here, And to me, it's freedom, it's wild, it's always moving. And then I thought about the idea of always moving. And how Spirit said to me, that makes sense that you're always moving on a physical level, because it means that you're probably always moving on a spiritual level. Because as above, so below, as within, so without. So whatever we're created on the physical level, it was created on a spiritual level, even a mental level. And I love that, y'all. I absolutely love that. So I know I'm wild, and I think I know it. I don't know it, but I know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I know on some level that I'm wild, but I don't think about being wild when I'm being wild. I just think about being me, And I think it's important though to know that you are that person, that you are that wild woman, that you are that unique, whatever, unique if you will, right? This is if you will. I think it's so important to know and to realize that, because then it allows you to probably maybe even lean into it more, so you won't be second guessing yourself. That's why I was saying, like, I think the importance of having, not necessarily that everyone around you has to be a wild woman to be your closest friend or associate or even, companion or wild person, but that every person around you that you consider close has to understand that you're a wild woman. And let me tell you, this is the caveat, or this is the best part. Everyone around you that's considered themselves close to you, or you consider close to you, has to recognize that you're a wild woman and love that about you. And love that about you. Because when somebody loves that about you, it makes you want to be more of that. It makes you be more of that. When somebody doesn't really love that about you, don't really understand why you're like that, you know what I'm saying? When somebody does that, it does take the energy down just a little bit, because you're starting to grapple with, maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you need to sit still. Maybe you need to stay at home. Maybe you need to be more like the person that's not like you. That is very difficult. I have to say, it's a grappling thing. I always say, with the exception of my sister. My sister, of course, she knows me. She reminds me of who I am. She is an astrologist and a numerologist, so she understands the Leo and all the other fire. So with her, I just love that she always, when I'm feeling certain ways, she understands. from an astrological level, she puts it down. Well, you're a Leo, and da 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 da, and da 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 da. Or you've always been, or that's what is so cool about you. That's what makes you live in another foreign country and listen to intuition and seemingly be in the right place at the right time and is willing to take chances and to be brave. Like, she loves that about me. She knows that that is who I am. And besides her, I mean, I have other good friends that I absolutely love. I don't know if they necessarily see that as the way I am as a win, but that's fine. I mean, I accept everybody where we are, where they are, but the ones that I think are the most of an asset to your growth are the ones that can see that that person that you are naturally, that you were born to be, is so dope. And that there's a little part of them that wish that they would like to be that they hang out with you because they're almost hoping that just a smidgen of that, because they are who they are too, would rub off on them. Those are the best people around you. You got people like that around you. So when I do my consultations, you all are really watching me for that person that I am. And when I get to do consultations, because I don't see you, I see your name, but I don't hear you. We don't get to converse one-on-one. I get to hear that from y'all, and I just want to say that, like, I want to thank you all for seeing that parts of myself that I don't get to hear it every day. My daughter also says that, Mom, you're incredibly brave. You're so brave. You're so courageous. You're so, and I'm just like, wow. Like, am I? Like, am I? Like. But if it's not my family who know me, I don't have a partner. Um, my last partner used to always talk about how unique I was, and I could tell he really meant that in a good way. Like, yeah, my style, the way I look, the way I present my everything to him was just so unique. And I love that too. But I don't really, other than if he'll conversate with y'all, I don't really get that. But it makes me want that more. It makes me understand what I need from a relationship. And I'm talking about friendships, especially, because what I need from a male relationship is that and much more, other layers to that. But for a friendship, I would like that, the person to be like, oh my God, like this. I don't know, I need that person, like I said, describe like my people that I did the consultations with. Hey, that's wow. Hey, we love that. Hey, we love that you don't have rules. We love that you will do it for a minute and don't feel like you have to conform to society and says, well, you just moved. Why are you moving again? Wow, you sure don't know what you want, or my God, you're so flaky. And then even those same people, these are people you don't want around you when you are creative, or even if you have a creative child, these are the people you don't want around you. The people that be like, here you go again. Well, and then, okay, go another layer. Then let's say that because when you're wild, you're going to go out there, and you're not necessarily going to go out there and fall on your ass. That's only a person that looks at it that way. You're going to go out there and learn something from going out there. But it's not a bad learning. It's necessary. And they'll be like, see, that's why I don't be going nowhere. That's why I mind my business. That's why I stay in the house. So there's still that imprinting that what you're doing and how you're doing it is going to get you, it's not going to be successful. Not understanding that that's actually life. Playing it safe is not living. Playing it safe is not living. And you have to repeat that to yourself so you truly understand that. I would never want a life where I do nothing so nothing happens. I would rather have a life that I do something and something always happens. And what happens and how it's perceived is up to me and the wonderful people around me, like you all, that can say, I love that for you. It's almost like saying, that's why I don't get in a relationship, because you see how hurt you were in the relationship. So you see, that's why I don't get into a relationship. I know that sounds so sensible, but it doesn't make sense to me. Because there's so much more you got out of that relationship, and there's so much growth within yourself that you gain from that it was because of that relationship that you're the better person you are now, the wiser person you are now. I love being a wild woman, but I didn't know how important it was to have other wild women around you. And when I talked to this Leo last night, I saw and I felt and I was able, everyone I talked to, them, every consultation has been just amazing. And I love them. I love them. I'm still doing the $50 special, half price special. How you do it is you go to the description box. I got three methods of payment: PayPal, CashApp, and Zelle. Send the $50. We say for consultation. We get on an email. You email me, and we talk about when am I available and when you're available, and we'll fit you in. 4 hours ahead of the Eastern Standard Time. So I do United States time. That's the time that you're going to tell me when you want your consultation in. I'm 4 hours ahead of the Eastern Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., and I'm 5 hours ahead of Central Time in the U.S., and I'm 7 hours ahead of Pacific Standard Time. Okay, just so you know. And so, yeah, I would love to have, I love them. They're so good for me. They're only $50. It's for 1 hour, and I think you'll love it. Okay? I think I hear Eric. I heard him. So we're going to probably go to the market. So I just wanted to share that with y'all and just, Eric, you ready? Okay, I'm coming. I did come. All right. So anyway, I'm going to go to the market and I'm going to get some food, which is great because I got a consultation. But when you start asking for things in your prayers, ask for people around you that see you, that get you. I promise it will take you much further. And the naysayers, they love you. It's the haters that don't. But the naysayers absolutely love you. But they're just probably not going to support your growth in being more wild. Naysayers are practical. Naysayers are a little bit uneventful. They prefer life that way. A lot of times naysayers have been hurt. They've seen a lot of, disappointment, and they don't want to feel that anymore. And they don't want you to be hurt. And they don't want you to feel disappointment. But hurt and disappointment is part of being a human being. We don't want to feel emotions, but it's those very emotions that we need. It's like there's lots of ingredients you need in a pot of soup to make it taste good. You need all of those ingredients. It's not one thing that's making that pot of soup taste good. It's the many. It's not one thing that makes you beautiful. It's not all good times that's going to keep you beautiful or strong or wise. It's the other times too. And if we don't look at them as bad times and we can give it another name, then it becomes beautiful. So I welcome the consultations. Or you ladies who say, I've been watching you forever, you inspire me, you're always helping. It's in my day, it's probably the first time I heard that all day. Because I do live a kind of, very, I won't say isolating life, but very protective life. And I have, like I said, my sister absolutely gets me. It's not enough to get me, but if you get me in this judgment, like, there you go again, instead of me like, I love that about you. You're gonna go for it. I love that about you. You never sitting down. You're so creative. I love that about you. You're so unique. I love that about you. At least you ain't sitting down. At least you're doing something. At least you took a chance. At least you are alive. I love that about you. And you want to continue to hear that. Oh, have you got, yeah. I love that about you. Do you get it? I love that about you. Y'all is the one I get it from. Of course, my sister always explaining when I feel a certain way, I feel trapped or I want to go to another place. She's like, you a Leo, you need that. It's both. Other than that, I don't have that. Like I said, I have great friends. Like I have people that I've known. I've gotten to know over YouTube and became friends, and I love them so much, so much, and I love their input in my life. But how I thrive, because we're always the little child in us that needs that kind of validation, is people that can see the wild in me, and encourage the wild in me, and love the wild in me. I hope that helps. I thank you so much. I ain't got to go to the store. honey, I ain't got no decent clothes. I ain't got no decent clothes because the laundry is, well, no, what I got on is very decent and we stopping that. And I'm going to go to whatever I'm going to, the market to get my stuff. So I love y'all with all my heart. And I will see you all when I return. Okay? And I hope this has found you well, excited, whole, and complete. Peace and blessings.